You know, it's really interesting to me how poetry has kind of exploded back into the mainstream,
Yeah.
especially online. Like you're scrolling through your feed and boom, there's this short verse that
Right.
just
Right.
kind of hits you in the feels. And I feel like anyone who's even a little bit into that online poetry world,
Ah.
the name Rupi Kaur is just everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. She's unavoidable. A
Yeah,
real force in this whole resurgence.
totally. And that's actually what we're diving deep into today.
Okay.
Rupi Kaur's debut collection, Milk and Honey. We've been looking at a ton of stuff about this book, like what are the main themes? What's her style like? What
Yeah.
kind of impact has it had? So whether you're listening and you already know Kaur's work,
Mm.
or maybe you're totally new to it but curious about this whole modern poetry thing,
Yeah.
or even if you just want to know why this book blew up the way it did,
Uh-huh.
we're going to really break down Milk and
I
Honey
like it.
and see what makes it tick. So think of this as your crash course on a book that everyone's been talking about.
Exactly. We'll give you the need to know so you can really get it.
Okay, so let's start unpacking Milk and Honey. It's the first collection from Rupi Kaur.
Right.
She's a Canadian poet, illustrator, and performer.
Mm-hmm.
And like we were saying, she's been super central to this revival of poetry,
Yeah.
especially online through places like Instagram and her spoken word performances.
For sure.
And this book, her first one, it just blew up globally. I mean, it's known for this very direct,
Yeah.
minimalist style of poetry
Right.
that tackles these themes that are so universal but often really intense.
Definitely.
Love, trauma, healing, and what it means to be a woman.
Yeah.
I think what's so captivating is how honest and raw it feels emotionally.
Yeah.
And it's so accessible. It doesn't feel like the stuffy academic poetry.
Right.
It feels like someone speaking directly to your own experiences.
Absolutely. Like it's a conversation.
Exactly. And that really resonated, especially with tons of young women.
It makes sense. It cuts through all the noise and gets right to the heart of things.
Yeah. And the book itself has this really cool structure.
Okay.
It's divided into 4 distinct chapters, almost like stages in an emotional journey.
Oh, interesting.
So the first one is called The Hurting,
Okay.
and it really dives right into all the tough stuff.
Yeah.
Pain, trauma, abuse, loss. It sets a pretty intense tone from the get-go.
Doesn't shy away at all.
Okay.
I think that's why it resonated so strongly with people who'd gone through similar things.
Right.
Maybe they'd never really seen those experiences reflected so directly in art before.
Exactly. And then we move to the second section, which is called The Loving.
Okay.
And here the focus kind of shifts. It's about the early stages of connection, that
Yeah.
vulnerability of falling in love, intimacy.
I see.
It's almost like a breath of fresh air after the hurting,
Yeah.
but that raw emotion is still there underneath it all.
Right. Right. It highlights how complex we are as humans.
Yeah.
know, We can experience such deep pain, but also this intense longing for connection.
Exactly. Like it's this back and forth that's so human.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so relatable.
Totally. Okay, then we come to The Breaking.
Ooh, I can guess where this is going.
And yep, as you might imagine,
Yeah.
it's all about heartbreak,
Mm-hmm.
betrayal, that feeling of just being totally shattered when a relationship ends
Yeah.
or when someone breaks your trust.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's that inevitable low that can come after the high of the loving.
And again, something so many people have gone through.
Absolutely. It's a universal experience.
It is. Kaur was really taking us through this whole emotional landscape step by step.
And finally, we reach the healing.
Okay.
And this is where things start to feel more empowering.
Mm-hmm.
It's about self-love, about surviving, about picking yourself back up after all that hurt.
It's like finding the light at the end of the tunnel.
It really is. And so you can see this whole arc of emotional growth throughout the entire book.
What I find so smart is how the structure of the book itself reinforces the themes.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's not just a random collection of poems. It's this deliberate journey.
And her writing style is so distinct.
Yeah, it's really recognizable.
It's incredibly minimalist and raw.
Uh-huh.
She gets right to the core of these experiences with very few words.
Wow.
It's like this pure, unfiltered emotion, almost like you're reading someone's diary.
Exactly. And it makes you feel like you're really in her head.
Totally. Plus, she includes these simple but powerful line drawings.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, they add this whole other layer of meaning and depth.
They're so effective. I think the simplicity of her style, both the words and the drawings,
Yeah.
is really key to how impactful it is.
Yeah.
It forces you to confront the emotion head on.
There's no hiding from it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's dig a little deeper into some of the key themes.
Yeah.
One that really jumps out is survival and resilience.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of her poems are about going through immense pain and then finding a way to emerge from that trauma.
Yeah.
They're almost like symbols of strength,
Yeah.
of the power to survive, to heal.
Yeah. And I think that theme resonates so strongly because
Yeah.
it acknowledges that suffering exists, that it's real,
Uh-huh.
but it also offers this hope that you can overcome it.
Absolutely.
It's like saying, hey, I see your pain, I've been there too, and you can get through this.
It's so validating, especially for people who have experienced trauma.
Totally. Another huge theme is femininity and strength.
Yes.
Milk and Honey really shines a light on what it means to be a woman.
Right?
It touches on things like abuse, objectification, love from a woman's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately female empowerment.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is how she often portrays qualities that are traditionally seen as feminine,
Uh-huh.
like vulnerability and emotional sensitivity,
Right.
as strengths in themselves.
Totally. It challenges that old school way of thinking.
Yeah.
That strength has to be all about being tough and aggressive.
Yeah.
It's like she's reclaiming vulnerability and saying, hey, this is powerful too.
Exactly. And, we can't talk about Milk and Honey without talking about love and loss.
Oh, for sure. It's at the heart of so much of her work.
It really captures the whole roller coaster of romantic relationship,
Mm.
from that amazing feeling of falling in love
Mm-hmm.
to that just gut-wrenching pain of heartbreak.
Yeah.
It shows how love can heal us so deeply,
Right.
but it can also hurt us in ways nothing else can.
Absolutely. It's a very honest portrayal of relationships, warts and all.
It doesn't sugarcoat anything.
No, it embraces the messiness, the complexities.
Exactly. And then there's this idea of healing through art.
Oh, yeah, that's a powerful one.
For Kaur, the act of writing these poems
Uh-huh.
seems like it was a way for her to process her own pain, to
Mm.
turn it into something she could share with the world.
It's like taking something so difficult and transforming it.
Totally. And I think it shows readers that creativity can be a really powerful tool for healing.
It's like taking your pain and turning it into something beautiful.
And finally, that last chapter, the healing,
Yeah.
it really emphasizes self-love and acceptance. After all that hurt and heartbreak, it's about learning to embrace yourself, your body, everything.
Right. Flaws and all.
Exactly. It's a message of radical self-compassion.
I love that. It's like the final stage of the journey.
Yeah.
After acknowledging the pain,
Mm-hmm.
you start to rebuild and cultivate love within yourself.
Yeah. And that's so crucial for healing.
It is. So when you look at why this book was so successful, there are a few key things that stand out.
Okay.
First, the raw, unfiltered emotion we've been talking about makes it so relatable.
Right. It's like she's speaking your language.
Exactly.
Mm.
And it makes readers feel seen and understood.
Yeah, like someone gets it.
That's a powerful connection to make.
Totally. And then there's her style. It's so accessible and contemporary.
Uh-huh.
Those short, impactful verses really resonate with a new generation of readers.
Especially those who maybe wouldn't typically pick up a poetry book.
Right. It feels very now.
It does. It breaks down those barriers that some people have with poetry.
Yeah, it feels very immediate, easy to digest.
Which makes sense in our fast-paced digital world.
Totally. And even though the book deals with some really heavy stuff, there's this underlying message of hope and self-worth.
Oh, yeah. It's not just wallowing in sadness.
It's about finding a way through it.
Exactly. It acknowledges the darkness, but doesn't let it consume you.
And it's so empowering.
And we can't forget about the illustrations.
Oh, they're so good.
They might seem simple at first glance.
Yeah,
But they add so much.
totally. They really deepen the emotional impact of the poems.
It's like they create a whole other language that works alongside the words.
They really do. Now, of course, no book is universally loved,
Right.
and there have been some criticisms of Milk and Honey.
Okay.
Some people find that while the minimalist style is what makes it so accessible,
Yeah.
it can also feel a little superficial or repetitive for those who are looking for more complex.
Right. Like a deeper dive into language and metaphor.
Exactly. And the emotional tone is pretty intense throughout, which can be a bit overwhelming for some readers.
Yeah, you have to be in the right headspace to really engage with it.
Then because she's aiming for this universal appeal
Uh-huh.
to connect with as many people as possible,
Yeah.
some people feel like the poems can lack those specific personal details.
Right, the kind of details that would make them feel even more unique and powerful.
Right. But when you look at the overall impact and influence of Milk and Honey,
Mm-hmm.
it's undeniable. It played a huge role in popularizing that whole Instagram poetry thing.
Oh, absolutely.
It brought poetry to a massive global audience.
It did. It made poetry accessible to so many people who might never have engaged with it otherwise.
And it really opened up conversations about some important and often sensitive topics.
Yeah, like sexual assault, heartbreak, healing.
It gave a voice to so many people who had maybe felt silenced or ignored.
Especially women.
Especially women, and that's incredibly significant.
It really is. It created a sense of community around these shared experiences.
And it became a cultural phenomenon. It's been translated into so many languages, sold millions of copies, and it's become a symbol of modern feminist expression.
It's amazing how it resonated across cultures and languages.
It shows that these experiences are universal.
They really are. For those listening who might want to explore more poetry like this,
Yeah?
there are some great authors and books out there.
Oh, yeah, tons.
Rupi Kaur herself has another collection called The Sun and Her Flowers,
Right.
which continues that exploration of healing and growth.
And there's Courtney Peppernell's Pillow Thoughts.
Oh, yeah, I love that one.
It's also about love, heartbreak, hope, and it has that same minimalist style.
It does. And you know Lily Reinhart?
The actress.
Yeah, she has a collection called Swimming Lessons.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's really good. It explores vulnerability and healing.
Cool. And Amanda Lovelace's The Princess saves herself in this one.
Yes, that's a great one for feminist poetry.
Okay, cool.
It focuses on empowerment and survival.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Falling Toward the Moon.
Oh, yeah, by Robert M. Drake and R.H. Sin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's another one that explores those raw emotions around love and loss.
So much good stuff out there.
There is. If Milk and Honey resonated with you, you'll definitely find more to love.
So to wrap up our deep dive, we've seen how Milk and Honey is this collection of poetry that's very minimalist, but it tackles some really big themes.
Yeah. Pain, love, loss, and ultimately healing.
Right. And Kara's style is so direct and honest.
And those illustrations just add another layer.
They really do. It's no wonder this book connected with so many readers.
It really tapped into something universal.
It did. It played a big part in bringing poetry back into the mainstream.
Absolutely.
And it started these crucial conversations about things we often don't talk about enough.
It's a deceptively simple book.
Oh, yeah.
But its influence is undeniable.
Totally. So here's a final thought for you to chew on.
Okay.
How does this kind of poetry, this accessible, emotionally direct style that Milk and Honey exemplifies, how does it change the way we understand and deal with these really complex emotional experiences compared to more traditional forms of poetry? And is this shift a good thing?
Interesting question.
Does it help us connect more deeply with each other in a world that's becoming increasingly digital?
I think that's something worth reflecting on.
Definitely. Thanks for joining our deep dive today.
It's been a pleasure.
And we'll catch you next time for another deep dive.